Good morning. I'm Katie. This is Fluffy Dog, and we are in the far southeastern portion of the panhandle of Idaho. We are at the top of Lolo Pass right now, which is Highway 12. And it's a very twisty, windy road down through a canyon, a river canyon, all the way to western Idaho, and then we are going to head north. We're going to go as far north as we can go and see what there is to see in northern Idaho. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know exactly where we're going to go, but we're going. Hurrah! We are taking a minute to walk through the Devoto Memorial Cedar Grove, which is this very pretty cedar grove on the side of the road that has a nice little walking path through it. It's a big tree. You know, sometimes you drive around for a long time down Forest Service roads looking for a campsite. It seems to take forever, but you find the most awesome place. This is not one of those times, but it is a campsite, complete with other people's trash, no views, but there are pretty trees. And to be fair, there is a little bit of water running in this little creek next to us, but it's not an ideal campsite, but it's not horrible, so we'll take it. I was very disappointed today to find out that somewhere along the way I lost my straw hat. So I stopped in a gas station and picked up a new one. This is the new hat. Needs to be maybe not quite so curled, but it'll do. Got camp set up, including hanging up my laundry for the second night in a row because it didn't get dry last night. And basically ready to go to bed. Fluffy's had his dinner, and I had dinner in Lewiston, so I don't, just some fast food, so I don't need to eat anything. And I think that's it for today. We'll see you guys in the morning. Well, oops. It turns out I was camped on private land last night. I was only steps away from the National Forest, but I looked at my Gaia GPS just before I went to bed, and that was private land. Probably owned by a logging company. and so I was unlikely to get kicked off of it. But, oops. But anyway, well, what's done is done. I did clean it up. We are headed north, as far north as we can go. It's going to take a while because Northern Idaho is a ways away still. Idaho itself is the length of both Oregon and Washington, so it takes a long time to get from south to north. So we are hitting the road, and we will see you when we get to Northern Idaho. Sometimes camping can seem like an exercise in frustration. Either all the camping spots are full, or you drive for miles and miles and miles before finding a marginal place to pull off the side of the road. Sometimes it's really hard to find a campsite that's decent. This is not one of those times. You weren't ready to be woken up yet? You're a good boy. Where are we off to next? I don't know. We're going to explore around Northern Idaho and see what she has to offer. We hit the road pretty early this morning and headed north, about as northwest in Idaho as you can get. And we are now walking through an ancient cedar grove near our destination. I was expecting just a pretty grove of trees, not a spectacular waterfall too. That's pretty awesome. It is kind of muggy and humid, and there's mosquitoes out because we, in this little tiny corner of northwest Idaho, are in a rainforest. It is part of the largest temperate rainforest in North America, I believe, and we're going to take a hike in it tomorrow. We have found a campsite that is near the trailhead of the trail we're planning to do tomorrow. I'm already set up for the night. That's my food and such behind me, locked up in bear boxes, and the Jeep is all set up and bug netted because there's mosquitoes. And we are actually kind of all ready to go to bed, even though it's not really bedtime yet. Fluffy has already put himself to sleep. Are you already sleepy behind the bug netting? You already sleepy? Yeah. Tired from your long day of riding in the car? We are having sugar bombs for breakfast. This is the rather sad assortment of goodies I was able to put together for trail food today. I really need to get to the grocery store. I only have kind of dregs left in my coolers and my food boxes. But I tried to go to a little grocery store yesterday down the road, and they really didn't have anything. Probably should have stocked up when I was in Coeur d'Alene, but I didn't have the will or energy to do it. I'm regretting that a little now. All right, time to get this show on the road. We've got about a 6-mile drive to the trailhead, and then we are off to adventure. We have reached the trailhead and are starting our hike, and it's kind of hot. It's about 70 degrees outside, but it's very muggy, just as you would expect in a rainforest. This is the Upper Priest River Trail, and we're going to hike for about 6.5 miles to reach American Falls. I'm definitely not as familiar with the plants in this area as I would be back at home. This thing behind me is called the Devil's Club, and it's called that because of the many, many spikes along its stems. You don't want to run into that one. I am getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. The solution. Look at these beautiful tiny orchids. We made it! That's American Falls. We're gonna sit down and have a snack and then boogie on back to camp. My phone is yelling at me that I don't have any more storage, so I won't be taking any video on the way back. So I'll see you guys back at camp. Good morning. We didn't get back to camp till about 9 o'clock last night. So Fluffy and I both shoved foods in her mouth and passed out. Fluffy's still passed out in the Jeep. I've been cruising around this morning, getting my hair washed, getting breakfast, and Fluffy's still fast asleep. I did have some troubles with storage on my phone, too many videos, and so I wasn't able to film probably the last half of the hike, but it was much the same. Big trees, lots of ferns and Devil's Club, lots of little streams. I was glad I had enough storage to get the falls at the end, but it was a close thing. So I have remedied that problem, and I have gotten all the videos offloaded from my phone, so I shouldn't run into that problem again for a while, but that's okay. It's a beautiful hike. When you end up at American Falls, you are literally a stone's throw from the Canadian border. It's about 0.2 miles from the falls to the southern border of Canada, and it's just wonderfully lovely. I mean, the falls were not a huge big deal, but it was a beautiful hike, and it's nice to have that little treat at the end. I think it's time to stop talking and start packing up and wake Fluffy up and head down the road. We are going to head to Priest Lake. I don't know exactly what we're going to find there. I know that they have camping, they have this big lake, but I don't know if there's going to be any space, or if I should have made reservations 6 months ago, or what. So we're going to find out. We're going to head down the road and see what Priest Lake is all about. We're going this way. We're going this way. Well, this is very not bad. I found a pretty awesome campsite early this afternoon and was able to claim it. And it's the first time I'm actually paying for a campsite, but the choices around here are a little limited. There's some dispersed camping that was kind of not that great. There are 2 pretty big campgrounds that were just crowded and not my style. Where I am right now is a hike-in or boat-in campground on the Forest Service, and it costs $15 for the night, which is the most I've spent on lodging this trip. In fact, the first time I've spent money on lodging this trip, but I think it's worth it. My first look was this. Oh my goodness. I saw that and went, wow, I gotta camp there. I did try to find some food today and did not have a whole lot of luck because I didn't want to drive 100 miles to get into Sandpoint. But I did find a salad. That was amazing. And a baguette. So that's dinner. Not bad for a convenience store dinner. Are you mooching? Do you want some baguette? Yeah, it's good, huh? Good stuff. Let's go on a little tour of our camp. It's a pretty nice setup. Our tent is right on the lake. They have a nice little fire pit, which we will not be using because I hardly ever have a campfire. They have picnic tables, which is very convenient. Then we have the bear box, which is a vital necessity. Actually, just put your fingers up under here and you can open the lid. That's Fluffy's food. My food's in there too. What are you eating? Do you have a stick in your mouth? Goofball. There's Fluffy Dog, studiously guarding the tent. And we are basically all set up for the night. This is the view outside our tent. We do have some neighbors down the shoreline, but they're pretty far away. We have our own little patch of huckleberries right by the tent. And I think I see a ripe one or almost ripe one. Let me look. It's almost. It's not quite there yet. Off in the distance, beyond the lake shore, we have the Selkirk Mountains. That's one teeny tiny part of the Selkirk mountain range. There's another one, and it looks like it might be ripe. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, there's one right there. That one's overripe. That one's ripe. Huckleberries. Oh, that's a good scratching spot. That's a good scratching spot. This is a doggy that's very much in need of a brushing and a bath. Aren't you? Yeah, you need a bath. Oh, that's not going to happen for a bit. You're a good boy. It's a little bit calmer now. You gonna get some water? No. Is the water gonna get you? It never hurts to get a little casting practice in. Pretty sure I'm never actually gonna catch a fish. That's okay. It's fun to learn. But we do have some big plans for tomorrow. We are going to go kayaking up a little stream called the Thoroughfare to Upper Priest Lake. Should be quite the little adventure. But I think it's time for bed, so we will see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out today, but it's very cloudy and I hear a little thunder rumbling. So we're gonna get packed up real quick. I'm gonna head down the road where I can get a weather forecast and see if this is something that's gonna blow over or not. That could impact our plans. go? All right, let's go. I've got the weather report. Partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorms, 30% chance of rain in the afternoon, and then completely clearing with a very light wind. So we're on. We are where we need to be, and I'm trying to make a couple of decisions right now. We have a portage to do to get to our little kayak site, and it's apparently about a half a mile portage. So that means I have to carry all of my stuff to the portage, and it's a lot of stuff. Can I do it in one trip? I don't know. I'm gonna try, but this means I'm putting the camera down and just gonna try to load up all my stuff and try to get to the portage site without dying. This is the Portage Trail. This is the place. Not gonna lie, carrying the boat was brutal. This was a pretty smooth, gentle path, so I just dragged it for at least half the way. But the case it comes in, the bag that it comes in, is super sturdy and doesn't look any worse for the wear, so that's probably how it's getting back uphill too. I should probably buy some kind of wheeled cart for it. Oh well, let's get this thing blown up and get on the river. Good boy. Don't run away. Good boy. You gotta make sure you're safe. Hi. Time to get loaded up. Let's go to the boat. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Good boy. What a good boy. Oh, you got a stick on your nose. Good boy. You gotta get room for mom in there. There we go. Turn around. There we go. There you go. And now sit down. Now sit down. Fluffy dog. Sit your back. Good boy. Good boy. We aren't going back on shore. I need to find a way to encourage him to sit a little farther forward, as he is right where my legs need to be. We are going to be going on about a 2.5 mile paddle upriver. Although this is a very slow moving river, it's very difficult to tell which way is upriver. I know because of the maps, but oh, we're gonna run into stuff. Hey, how you doing? Coming over to say hi? I bet you're looking for handouts because so many people are on this river. What do you think of the duck, Fluffy dog? You are totally looking for handouts. You lay down? Go ahead, lay down. I got my feet there first. He is being such a champ about this. Are you a good boy? Are you a kayaking dog? You never knew you'd be a kayaking dog, did you? It's a little shockingly easy to paddle upstream because we have a little bit of a tailwind. So I'm hoping when we get out of here tomorrow that we don't have a headwind preventing us from getting downstream or making it hard work, because it's not hard work to get upstream right now. Listen to all the birds. What do you think, little monster? And just like that, we have arrived at Priest Lake. What we're looking for is a National Forest campground, which should be on my left side over here as we're going up the lake. I'm going to highlight the beautiful views. Now you can lay back down. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work paddling, isn't it? Oh wait, you're not paddling. There are 2 National Forest campgrounds on this lake, and they're, boat-in campgrounds, or you could hike into them. And we are approaching the first one, and let's check it out, see what it's all about. You can hop out. Good boy. This will do. Can you guys hear that lovely droning noise in the background? This is a wonderful wilderness area, and all the way across the lake, somebody is cruising along and making a racket. This is again a developed campground. There's a picnic table and bear box and fire pit. I'm gonna have some lunch, and then I'm gonna get the tent set up just in case we get a little rain in here. It'd be nice to be able to dive into a shelter. And got some lunch for you too. I did manage to score a gas station sandwich this morning. I was very glad to be able to actually get a sandwich there. And of course I have company. Yeah. I think this is a pretty nice place to sit and have a little lunch. The clouds are starting to get a little bit dark overhead, so I figured I better get the tent set up pretty quick, just in case. I'd be surprised if it actually rained, but I want to be prepared. It's a little later in the afternoon and things have gotten a lot quieter on the lake. There were a fair few people up here today, but most of the day trippers have gone home, so we're just taking a little paddle just along the shoreline near our camp and gonna check things out. This is not your favorite thing in the world, is it? No, but you're doing good. I'm sticking fairly close to the shoreline just to see if there's any wildlife or anything interesting. Plus it's in the shade and it's kind of warm outside. But I do have to keep my eye open because there's lots of snags, lots of trees underwater. Are you looking for wildlife over there? Are you looking for wildlife? You see anything interesting? We're just gonna go up around this bend here and then we'll stop torturing you. You think you hear things? I hear birds. My plan is to get just around that little point there. We do have a very little headwind starting up right now that's pushing us around the other direction. But we're just gonna go around that little point and check out the view and then head back to camp, where we'll have a tailwind, and so probably get back there pretty fast. Get a little rocky in the boat. Wind is picking up. There we go. We're basically where we were planning to go. And it's quite lovely. We are going to turn around and go home. Well, go back to camp. The water's getting just a little bit rougher because of the winds. There you go. You want Mama to get out first? You can get out. It's okay to get out. I know the boat is doing funny things, but you can jump out. Good boy! Just on that very short trip, the water got way choppier. Really quick. I had to actually paddle kind of hard to get back into camp. But we made it, and all is well, and I think it's time to make some dinner. Bread and soup is a pretty simple dinner. Glad I had that baguette. Fluffy is glad too. I think it's time to do a little casting practice. Other people call it fishing. This is the little fly we're going to use today. It's kind of sparkly and green, and that is in honor of this sparkly green beetle that I saw at camp today. So maybe he'll bring us some luck. Probably not. Fortunately, the tree was right underneath the picnic table, and so I was able to climb up on the picnic table and get the fly. I wouldn't have gotten him otherwise because he was wrapped around a branch. So, yay! Let's try this again. I think it's time to hang it up for the night. Rosebush again. Well, my plans for the rest of the night include sitting here and watching the sunset, and then going to bed. We'll see you guys in the morning. Are you ready to be up this morning? You ready to get up? You want your breakfast? Yeah, you want your breakfast? It's a little breezy out this morning, and the water's a little choppy. We're gonna give it some time to see if it gets less choppy. It should. This was not the weather forecast. Breakfast this morning is a convenience store muffin and some tea. And then we wait. The water isn't glassy smooth, but it's looking a whole lot friendlier than it was earlier today. So I think we are a go for launch. This is a dog who was not happy to get in the boat this morning. I think Fluffy's just closing his eyes and hoping it's over soon. Are you a little nervous? Little nervous this morning. We are sticking to the shallows along the shore this morning, mainly because Fluffy's just a little extra nervous this morning. I think going out on the rougher water last night kind of made him a little more nervous about the water situation. So we are sticking to the shallows just in case he does something crazy like jumps out of the boat. I don't think he's going to do that, but I would rather, if he did, that not be in the middle of the lake. So we're going to just stick to the shoreline till we get to the Thoroughfare. Seems to be getting over some of his nervousness and getting his sea legs back. Of course, we just got rocked by a little wake from a boat. And hey, we're still doing okay. That's a good boy. Good boy. You can't sit in my lap. And you kind of need to be closer to the front of the boat for weight distribution. Do you understand what I'm saying? Good boy. We have re-entered the Thoroughfare. Is that what you have to say about it? I do have to say, even though my canoe is not packed in a stable way, because I just don't have the stuff to do that, and with a dog who's moving around in the kayak, this is really stable. I mean, it wobbles a little bit, but if we were in a traditional canoe, Fluffy would have dumped this thing over 15 times already. So I'm super pleased with this little kayak. Now I've just got to get some accessories for it so I could pack stuff on it better and have a few more goodies with me. There you go. Okay, hop out. Okay, hop out. You can do it. Good boy. That was a grand adventure, but we reached our portage site and now have to haul all this stuff uphill. And this is going to end our time in Idaho for a little bit. We have to drive a really long way because there's a four-wheel drive road calling my name. We'll see you next time.